City Learners Class, Learning Made Simple.
Welcome back to City Learners Class. With me today, we're going to be learning the easy way to change fractions to decimals using long division method. And very important, I want you to know that you need to understand what a fraction is before we go ahead. You need to also understand the difference between numerators and denominators of a fraction. And it is also very important for you to know when to use long division method as we go further. Okay, what is a fraction? A fraction is a part of a whole thing. A part of a whole thing. I repeat, a fraction is a part of a whole number, a whole thing. Okay? And then, what do we mean by numerator and denominators? It is important for us to know that fractions are written this way: 1 over 2, which means 1 of 2. Fraction can also be 4 over 5, 4 of 5. Fractions can be 6 over 2. Fractions can be 8 over 10. Fractions can be written as 3 over 8. In fact, fractions can be written as 9 over 20. When a number is given this way in mathematics, it simply means that number is a fraction. How then will I know which is denominator and which is numerator? Let's pick the first fraction, for instance, 1 over 2. In 1 over 2, the number above being 1 is the numerator, and the number below is the denominator. In other words, in a fraction, the number above this middle line is called the numerator, and the number below it is denominator. Now, I want you to understand this, that 2 is bigger than 1 in this fraction does not make it the denominator, and that 1 is smaller than 2 in this fraction does not make it numerator. A bigger number can be odd in the case of 8 over 3. In this case, 8 is the numerator because 8 is up, is above, while 3 is the denominator. You need to understand that numerator is that number in a given fraction that is above the line. That is the number that is to be divided by the number below. And the number below, which is the divisor, the number we are using to divide the number above, that number below is called the denominator. Thank you very much. Let's proceed to examples on how we can change fractions into decimal easy way using long division. Example: before we proceed to the solution, now the third thing that is very important here you need to know is that it's important for you to know when to use long division method. Before I go further, I'd like you to subscribe to this channel, click on the notification bell, and try to give us a comment. Thank you very much. Doing that will enable us to reach you better next time, and sharing with others will recommend us to them. In that way, you are helping us to grow this community. Thank you very much for your kind heart. Let's proceed. Solution: when should I apply long division method? I should apply long division method when in my fraction the number above the denominator is smaller than the number below. It's very important to know that. I mean that the long division method is mostly useful when the number above the numerator of your fraction is smaller than the number below. Here we go. Solution: Solution A, 1 over 2. The easy way to change 1 over 2 as a fraction to decimal is by first draw your long division line. Your long division line, and know how to place your number in it. Note that the number that we are dividing is the number above, which is the numerator. So we write it inside 1. And the number we are using to divide the number above, the denominator, we put it outside. And then we can begin to solve the mathematics. Before we go further, I would like you to take note of this pattern. We will start our calculation using this operation in the following order. The first thing we are going to do now is to divide. When we have successfully divided, the next thing we will do is that we will multiply. And after the multiplication successfully, we move straight to subtract. And then, just like that, we go back to the beginning. We repeat the same process until we arrive at final answer. So, here comes the solution. I use 2 to divide 1, which is impossible in mathematics. 2 cannot divide 1. So what should I do? Because 2 cannot divide 1, I will simply introduce a 0 here and a decimal point. I introduce 0 here and a decimal point above my line. Why? Because 2 cannot divide 1. 2 is bigger than 1. So apply 0 and decimal here also will make me to apply 0 to the number inside. In this way, I can divide the number inside using the number outside. And what then should I do? I still repeat my division because the first one I did was not successful. I was not able to use my 2 to divide 1. Now that it's possible for me to divide 10 using 2, I go back to my division and I say 10 inside divided by 2. That will give me 5. That gives me 5. And then what should I do then? I move to multiplication. What should I multiply? I multiply my new answer by the number I am using to divide. What does that mean? 5 multiplied by 2. That gives me 10. And I write my 10 under the number I have inside already. Now, I have been able to successfully multiply the answer and the divisor, the number I'm using to divide. What next? I move to subtraction, which is applicable to the number inside. If I take 10 away from 10, I will simply get nothing. Imagine you have $10 in your pocket, or 10 naira, or 10 pounds, and you are owing someone 10 pounds, or money of the same value you are having in your pocket. If the person comes and you decide to pay, you will eventually have nothing in your pocket. This is what is happening here. 10 you have taken away from you. You have nothing left. And in long division method, the moment you get 0 as answer, that is the end of the solution. You have finished solving the problem. So in this case, we can say that 1 divided by 2 is equal to 0.5. So in fraction, it is 1 over 2, while in decimal, it is 0.5. In fraction, it's 1 over 2, while in decimal, it is 0.5. Solution B, which says 2 over 3. Don't forget, the first thing to do is to simply draw your long division line and then place your numerator inside and your denominator outside. What next? Following the pattern of operation we have put down here, the first thing to do is to divide. And note that you are using the number outside to divide the number inside, the denominator to divide the numerator. And this is impossible. 3 is bigger than 2. So we repeat the same process, introduce a 0 and a decimal point, and then introduce a 0 to the number inside. In this way, you can divide conveniently. If you divide 20 using 3, you are going to get 6. Remainder 2. Because 3 multiplied by 6 will give you 18. So dividing 20 by 3 give me 6. The remainder, put it aside. We are not dealing with remainder here. So what next? Having successfully divided, I multiply my new answer by the divisor, the number I'm using to divide. 6 times 3, that gives me 18. And I have successfully multiplied the new answer I got by the number I'm using to divide, which is what? 6 times 3, 18. And then I move to the next operation, which is division, dealing with the number within. So I can say that taking 18 from 20 will give me 2. How do I do that? 8 taken away from 0, of course it's impossible, so take 1 from here and put it aside here. Borrow 1 from 2, take it aside here to have 10. So take 8 from 10, you will have 2. Don't forget, you have borrowed 1 from 2, so you have 1 here left. If you take 1 away from 1, you have 0. And 0, 2, of course, is the same thing as 2. 0, 2 is the same thing as 2. What next? I need to do division again, dividing 2 by 3. If I'm to divide 2 by 3, is that possible? No. If it was in the beginning of a fraction, I will introduce 0 point again. But since I'm already in the decimal position, there is no reason for us to introduce 0 point again, since 3 cannot divide 2. What I will do is to simply introduce 0 to this. If you claim this 0, you are correct, because 0, 2 is 2, like I said before. And then, what do you have to do now? You can now do 20 divided by 3. 20 by 3 will give us 6 again. 6 by 3 will give us 18. If you do your division again, you go back to 2. In this case, it seems that you will keep getting the same result. And this is what we call recurring fraction. If you keep solving this math this way, you put 0 here, you achieve 18 here. When you do your division, you will keep getting 0.666666, and that is called recurring fraction. Recurring fraction. Recurring fraction. So in that way, we can say that 2 over 3 in fraction equals to 0.666 and so on in decimal. I will leave you with the third question, question C, to solve by yourself. So please ensure you subscribe, click on the notification bell, and make sure that you share this information, share the post. Next time we meet, we are going to discuss further on fraction. Thank you very much for always coming to this channel, The City Learners. We are always available to help you improve in your learning. With me, Samuel Adegoke. Thank you very much. See you later in the class.